You've probably seen a couple of home flipping shows on HGTV or Netflix and thought, hey, this looks pretty easy. I'm pretty sure I can do this too. But something that you probably didn't consider is that not every upgrade that you do to a home will actually add value when you sell the home. And in fact, some improvements might actually make you even lose money. My name is Sean and I make real estate easy. Over the years, I've renovated several homes, and some of which have made me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and others which have lost me money. So to help you with your real estate investing journey, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the lessons that I've learned the hard way so that you don't have to, and I'm going to reveal some of the home updates that might look great on paper, but won't add any real value to the home when you finally sell it. Now, before we get into the list, before you do any renovations, you need to think about why you're doing an improvement. What's your overall goal? Is this for your own home where you want to upgrade something so you can live more comfortably? Or is this for a rental property that you want to upgrade so you can get more rents and make your tenants happier? Or maybe this is a fix and flip project that you plan on selling within a few months. So whatever your reason is, make sure that the upgrades actually match what your goals are. Don't just renovate a property for the sake of it, because different situations need different approaches, and you need to make sure that you make the right improvements appropriately. So the first type of renovation that you need to avoid are structural improvements without a permit. And I get it. Getting permits are a pain in the butt, and all this extra bureaucracy are going to add cost to the project and time. And if you're living in this home, you might even think about getting creative by converting your garage into extra living space, or maybe adding extra bedrooms and bathrooms so you have more rooms to rent out. But doing this major structural work without the right permits can cause you huge problems later down the road. Because here's the thing, when you try to sell the home, the unpermitted work that you saved money on will end up costing you more money, because home buyers won't pay you the full price for your home. So even if the work looks totally fine and is okay for your standards, your future buyers may not be that happy with it. Like, your buyer's lenders may not even give them a loan on properties that have unpermitted structural work on it. And so regular home buyers are going to have a hard time buying your property, which means that your next best bet to sell it is to sell it to an investor who's going to want to buy it with cash or a hard money loan and is going to expect a massive discount. Now, as an example, we recently bought a property in Dallas that had been heavily altered by the previous owner. So originally, this was a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, but the owner did an illegal garage conversion and carved out half of his kitchen and another room to make a whole other separate unit. So this other unit had 2 bedrooms, a small kitchenette, 1 weird looking bathroom, and the other house only had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms left. Then he built a shed in his backyard and hooked up the electricity and water lines illegally through some really sketchy connections. So in the end, this was great for him because he turned this large single family home into a triplex where he was able to rent out the main house, the converted garage, and this illegal shed in the back. And he set the laundry room in the middle of the backyard so that all 3 units could use the laundry room together. Now again, while this setup was great for him while he owned the property and he was collecting rents from 3 different tenants, it became a nightmare for them when he tried to sell the property, because no regular homeowner could get a loan on this type of property because of all the unpermitted work. And so it sat on the MLS for over 100 days as a dead listing. Now during those months, they tried to sell the property, so it kept dropping the price until finally a wholesaler came by and gave them a cash offer, and they got the property under contract for even lower than their lowest offer. And the home ended up going to someone like us who could pay all cash for the property. And all of this was because they had so many unpermitted additions to their property that the home sold for significantly less than if they just did everything by the book. And it's actually weird to think about because during the time they held onto the property, yes, they were collecting rents, but when they sold the property, they probably sold it for under $200,000 less than if the home was just normal. So how much money did they really make by having these weird conversions? Probably not that much. And so if you're doing renovations on your own properties, while you may think that you're saving money by skipping permits or making these unconventional changes, it's likely going to cost you way more money down the road when you can't sell your home for what it's truly worth. But even if you do everything by the book, there's another trap that overzealous investors can fall into, and that's by doing too much. When you're improving your property, it's tempting to go all in and make your home as beautiful as possible. But here's the thing about real estate. Home values are based on something called comps. Appraisers will come to your home and compare it to other homes in the area with similar square footage, bedroom, and bathroom counts. So if all of these homes in your area are selling for $500,000, then they're likely going to say that your home is probably worth around the same, even if your home is much, much nicer. So that means that pouring all of your money into a home and making it look like a beautiful castle really won't do that much to your net worth if all the homes around it look average or run down. So really, there's no point in going too ham on one property and overdoing it. Instead, focus on making your property nice, clean, and more importantly, standardized to match what's typical for the renovations in your area. Another thing to note is that your personal styles may not match what buyers and other potential people in their neighborhood may like. And so what you think may look good may look terrible to somebody else. So really, to make your life super easy, instead of spending all of your time and energy coming up with all these crazy design choices, what you can just do is go on Zillow and look at some of the top listings in your area. You're gonna start to see common trends and design choices that you can replicate on your own projects. So this way, the renovations will be in line with what people in this neighborhood expect and your property won't be over improved. Alternatively, you can go to open houses in your area and do the exact same thing. Take a lot of photos, see what their design choices were, and then go to Home Depot and pick out the exact same colors, exact same styles, and you're gonna be good to go. By keeping your home in line with the neighborhood, you're more likely to see a positive return on your investment when it comes time to sell. But what if you have a huge house with a lot of extra space? Should you just add some walls and make more rooms in the home? So this leads me to the next big mistake, which is assuming that having more rooms means that your property will sell or rent for more money. Because if you do have the extra space, you may think that adding more rooms will improve your home's value, but that's not always how it works. When you have a home with a decent layout, like a condo with 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, you may think that's a smart idea to knock down one of the walls and make one giant room, but doing something like that can actually turn against you. For one of our projects, we had a huge layout with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and we wanted to Airbnb the house, and we thought that we could have more money if we optimized the layout. And originally, the home had a huge master bedroom with a really big walk-in closet. And since it was a master bedroom, it could be annoying for the rest of the guests if only one room had access to the master bathroom. So we decided to carve out some things and split the master bedroom and the walk-in closet into 2 separate rooms, and then converted the master bathroom into a second hallway bathroom. So the end result was mediocre. We didn't really get the top dollar that we were expecting from having so many bedrooms in the home. In reality, 3 or 4 bedrooms is usually enough. There tends to be a sweet spot for most renters or Airbnb guests. So adding more rooms just made the place harder to rent out. Because at that point, if you have a huge place, the only people that you're really gonna attract as a tenant or a guest are going to be the wrong types of people, like partiers, which is someone that you don't really want. So at one point, we even had the option of converting the garage into another room. But since we already knew that it was tough renting out the property as a home with 5 bedrooms, making a 6th one really just didn't make that much sense. So if you're renovating for midterm or short-term rentals, in reality, keep it at 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, at most 4. Because adding extra bedrooms here may sound like a good idea, but it doesn't always improve how much money you can get, and it doesn't improve your property's value. So speaking of things that don't improve your property's value, this next one is pretty controversial because many people actually want them in their own homes. But in reality, I think adding this to your home is going to end up costing you dearly. And that's installing a new pool into your home. So you might be thinking that adding a pool is going to really increase your home's value, right? After all, who doesn't love swimming in a pool on a hot summer day? But trust me, unless every house in your neighborhood is expected to have a pool, adding a pool could cost you more than it's worth. Adding a pool is an extremely expensive process, and once you're done, the costs don't stop there. You now have to pay for ongoing maintenance, like paying for extra water, cleaning services, and all the supplies you need to keep your pool in good shape. It's a financial burden, not just for you as the owner, but also for the next person who has to buy your property as is. Plus, pools are a safety hazard. I've heard of some really sad stories where kids have drowned or have gotten injured because of the pool. So instead of spending thousands of dollars installing a pool, put that money into good landscaping. A well-maintained garden or pavers will make your home stand out and will save you a ton of money in the long run. And as an investor and a homeowner, I would never pay for a pool. I'd rather go to a friend's house and enjoy a pool in their backyard, and then come home and relax in my own home without needing to deal with the hassle of owning a pool. And speaking of worthless add-ons, you should definitely stay away from this next one if you want to save money, and that's installing new solar panels. So again, this might be a hot take, but I think solar panels are a terrible investment. See, solar panels may seem like a great idea, especially if a door-to-door salesman comes to your home and tells you that it is a good idea. Because the thought process is that you can finance the cost of solar panels, and then the idea is down the line, you'll be saving hundreds of dollars a year on your electric bill. But when you look at the actual cost, you're talking about spending around $20,000 upfront. That means it'll probably take you several decades before you actually see a real return on your investment. And honestly, I think solar panels are pretty ugly too. And then there's the technology itself. Because who knows, like in 20 years, solar panels could be cheaper, better, and more efficient. So why lock yourself into something that might be outdated pretty soon? So for me, it just wasn't worth the investment. I'd rather put my money into something that has a quicker payoff. Now, there's one more thing that I think people overspend on, and that's their expensive furniture. Technically, this isn't overspending on the home itself, but it is something that people are overspending on all the time. They're blowing their budget on fancy furniture and appliances. And I've seen people spend big money on the nicest massage chairs, sofas, beds, all that stuff, and thinking that it will make their home worth more. But the thing is, when it's time to sell, buyers usually aren't that interested in keeping your furniture. They're just looking at the house itself. And if you're renting your place out as an Airbnb or short-term rental, then spending a lot of money on high-end furniture also really doesn't make that much sense, because your fancy furniture is going to get ruined by guests over time. So again, there's really no point in spending too much on it. So to save on costs, what I've done in the past is I've hired stagers to stage my property, and then I offer to buy their furniture at a discount. And a lot of stagers are actually open to this idea because they want to sell their old inventory so they can buy new pieces and keep up with the newest trends. So again, they're pretty happy to do that. I think it's a smart way to save money and still make the place look great for photos. Also, it saves you the headache of having to find all these different pieces of furniture and furnish the home yourself. And the thing is, it's not just about the furniture too. People often make the same mistake with appliances. Super high-end appliances might look cool, but again, they don't always add too much value to the home. So unless you're flipping a super high-end property, you don't really need to buy the latest and most expensive appliances. Now, in fact, one of my friends who flips million-dollar homes doesn't even add a refrigerator because she knows that buyers want to buy their own nice refrigerator when they move in. And that's one mistake that I did. I bought a super nice fridge in one of my flips, and people didn't really want to give me more money for that. So instead of spending $2,000 on the nicest Samsung refrigerator, just buy a regular one at Costco. You can even buy a fake prop refrigerator, and when the home sells, the new owner can just buy a new refrigerator that fits their style. Now at the end of the day, it's easy to get caught up in wanting to make your home look amazing. But the truth is, not all updates are worth the time or money. And as someone who's relatively frugal and doesn't like super flashy things, I almost never renovate my own personal home to the highest standard while I'm living in it because I don't think that's worth it. But I'm super happy to improve the properties I'm going to flip or rent out as an Airbnb because I know that I can truly maximize my returns that way. And it's a pretty weird situation that we live in now, where I think our tenants and our guests live in much nicer conditions than we do. But again, we like it that way. So now that we finished this video, you guys know what not to spend your money on. And if you guys are interested in learning more about renovating homes and how to start flipping houses, then you definitely want to check out my video over here about how I teach you guys how to flip houses for beginners. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.